Welcome to another day of the Daily Antidote of Song. It is day 1132. Big cheer for that. Um, it's great to see you all on this Friday, and we're so lucky to have Chic Streetman here with us, sharing songs today, talking about his mother for Musical Mothers Week. Hi, and let's get started. Thank you to everybody who's watching on the live stream. Can you help me wave to them? Hi, thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. And hello, and thank you to Jojo Rossi for being here and making this thing happen. Hello again to Chick Streetman. Thanks for being here today. Can't wait to hear more from you. And hello to Kevin in DC. Welcome. Good to see you. Hello, Busy Graham, who is the founder and director of Carpe Diem Arts, makes this happen. Thank you for being here. Mabel and a bear in Massachusetts. Good to see you. Hello, Jim in New York City. Welcome, Susan G in Cincinnati, Ohio. Aloysius in Massachusetts. Welcome. Hello, Sheila in Florida. Kate in Charlottesville. Good to see you. Hello, Arlene in Berkeley. Bob Gaser. Welcome, welcome. Carolyn in Boise. Thanks for being here. Kathleen in Albuquerque. Good to see you. Luda in Victoria, BC, much love to you as well. Ruth in Birmingham, UK, good to see you. Thank you, Deli in Silver Spring for being here today. Anne in Silver Spring as well, welcome. Linda on Orcas Island, thank you for joining. Nancy and her Irish cow, thanks as always for joining. Susan in Seattle, good to see you. Annette in California. Welcome, Dawn Peabody in Vermont. And Hoda in BC, lovely to see you. Hello to Mr. James Harkless in Silver Spring, welcome. And Jamie in Virginia, glad you're joining today. Hindi, good to see you. Bronwyn in Victoria, BC, thanks for joining. Nancy, thank you for being here. Lynn in Connecticut, welcome. Curly Tops in Vermont, thanks for joining. Gaia on Maui, glad you're here with us today. Caroline in DC, welcome. And Loriana, Katrina, and Courtney, welcome to you as well. Bob coming in on an iPhone, thanks for joining. Carol in Connecticut, and Jane Lawrenson, good to see you today. And Morse, there you are. Welcome, welcome. And I think that's everybody. So thank you so much for being here. I'm Jaden, I'm hosting today, and we're so happy to be welcoming back Chic Streetman. He's a really fantastic musician. He's been here a couple times before, right?
I think, yeah. I'm hanging,
Yeah,
hanging in there. Can you
thank
hear
you.
me?
Thank you for being here. Sorry, I should turn my volume up so I can hear you better. Um, and I'm really excited to hear your songs and hear you talk about your mom for Musical Mothers Week.
Great to be here, Jaden. Yes.
So what's the first song that you are going to be sharing today?
Well, I thought that probably it would be a good idea to sing a song that kind of goes back a little bit beyond my mother's time to my great grandmother, actually, um, who she's been passing the blues along. And so it came down through my great grandmother to my grandmother to my mother and to myself. And it's a song that my mother told me about that my great grandmother used to sing. And my great grandmother used to play the guitar, play a bottleneck blues guitar. You guys know what this is. It's a little thing that sticks on your finger, a piece of glass, and slides up and down the strings. And um, kind of it's the idea is to try to emulate the sort of sound of what a voice would be like. And so it slides up and down the strings. Anyway, my great grandmother, she played the bottleneck blues guitar, and what happened was when I don't know if we talked about this before, but when she was just 15, she was abused. She was raped by a young boy in Augusta, Georgia, and nothing happened to the boy for what he did. And she went mute. She wouldn't talk to anybody for a long while. And then one day her brother came home and put a guitar in her lap, and she tried to break it, but then her fingers just kind of brushed across the strings like that, and it wowed her. And she thought, "Whoa!" And so the guitar actually was the the thing that allowed her to come back into the speaking world. So she started singing and playing guitar. She got really, really, really good at it. She didn't travel around, tour around, but she would sit on her front porch there in Augusta and play her guitar, and people would come by. They called them hobos back in them days. Would come by, and she would feed whoever she could, play music for them. Kids would come by. She put out a little pot on the front porch and play, and people would put in pennies every once in a while. So this song was a song that she sang that my mother told me about. It's called "Leavin' This Mess Behind." Should I just go ahead and sing it? All right. Oh, my feet get so tired, ain't got no time to rest. She said, yes, my feet get so tired, ain't got no time to rest. Oh, I can't be hunting around for the one who loves the best. She said, hey, ooh, wee. That's the part y'all can sing. You say, hey, hey, ooh, wee.
Chick, you just got muted. Can you pause for a second and unmute? Sorry. Thank you.
Yes, the road done got so bad I can't tell up from down. Yes, the road done got so bad I can't tell up from down. Can't trust nobody who been hanging around. And here's where y'all come in, right? You say, hey, hey, ooh, wee. You gotta shake your head like that when you sing, right? Say, hey, 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 ooh, ooh, wee. Hey, 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 ooh, wee. Well, I may not be an angel, but I sure do like to sing. She said, yes, I may not be an angel, but I sure do like to sing. And I just want to hear that old doorbell ring. Come on, y'all. Say, hey, hey, ooh, wee. There it is. Hey, hey, ooh, wee. Hey, 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 ooh, wee. Yes.
Thank you. Oh, that was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know that hey ooey, it just feels good to say.
It does, and that's the way I always felt with it. She did it completely differently. Um, take this guitar for a second. I don't know if I could actually do it the way she did it, but I actually have a recording of her singing it, and there's no way I could do it the way she did it. It was kind of like, oh, my feet get so tired. Ain't got no time to rest. Her voice was kind of really shaky like that, but yeah, that was a long time ago.
Oh wow. That's awesome. You don't have a recording of it, do you?
Not accessible. I have a little bit of it somewhere. Um, I think on one of, we used to have those computers that were this big, and
Hmm.
on one of those somewhere. I should.
Okay, so it's somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, well, could you tell us a little bit more about this song? Why you want to sing it today in particular, or how it came to you?
It just kind of, when I think of when I was about 16, I said to my mom, I said, Mom, I want to sing the blues. And she said, Boy, you can't sing the blues. I said, I didn't say I can. I said, I want to. I want to learn. Um, for me, it was she was passing the blues. My great grandmother to my grandmother to my mother to me, just kind of passing the blues along. And so when I think of music for me, um, I have to go all the way back to her. Uh,
Mm,
that's where. So that's what it comes through my mother. And my mother, she was a gospel sort of bluesy, jazzy kind of singer. We would do songs like "You Ain't Been Blue." No, no, no. You ain't been blue till you've had that mood, indigo. That feeling goes tingling down to my shoes while I sit inside. So long blues. But my mother and I, we would do all kinds of things. We would do. This is a song I wrote because I wanted her to get up on stage in theater and sing. You ought to be ashamed, shame, shame, shame. You ought to be ashamed, shame, shame, shame. And now I play the guitar, and she would. And the way I got the guitar in the first place is I think she really wanted somebody to play music for her so she could sing, and she just loved to sing. And my dad would listen to her sing all day long, and she would do it for him. And when they retired and moved back to Georgia, because when I was 3 months old, my folks moved to Boston. That's where I was raised. We went back to Georgia, and she wound up working for a food bank and wound up just singing to everybody all the time for everybody. It's just what she did. She loved to do it, and we just loved to hear her sing.
that's beautiful. I mean, so it sounds like you had a very musical childhood. Um,
Around, yeah, I had to.
yeah, right, right.
But she also had us also dancing. I have two brothers and a sister, and we would have us dancing and singing, and almost kind of like you think of what you've heard with the Michael Jackson situation, that they would be around dancing and singing together. It was that kind of thing. Um, yeah, and we loved it.
That's so cool. Um, well, could we hear, like, I'd love to hear a little bit about more about your mother. I know she sang with Fats Waller. Is that
You
did I
did.
say that correctly?
Yeah, this is when she was in Georgia. She was just 15 or 16, and he would come down through Georgia occasionally and with his band. And I don't remember exactly how it happened that he connected with my mother, but he heard her sing once and loved it. And the second time he came down through Georgia, he asked her to get up on stage with him and sing. And she sang a couple of songs that he loved and asked my grandmother if my mother could go on the road with him. And my grandmother said, yes, of course, she saw money and stardom and fame, right? But my mother turned it down. She didn't want to be the only
Mm.
girl on the road at 15 or 16 with a band of men, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where the concept came up that if it's a good thing because I might have been called Chick Waller instead of Chick Streetman.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that is so funny.
Well,
Um,
go ahead.
I have to say, Chick Streetman is one of the best names I've ever heard. Also.
Well, thank you. Well, the Streetman is my father's name,
Oh,
Streetman.
okay.
And, there were two brothers that came over from, I think, England and came through Germany, and one settled in Georgia, one settled in Texas. Um, but for the stage, I break it up into two words, so it's actually street man instead of just
Mm.
people hear it and see it better. And chick comes from being called chicken when I was young.
Oh,
I hated it.
is
My
it?
uncle called me chicken. My uncle thought I was afraid of things. Anything that moved made me cry.
Oh,
Uh, Dogs, cats, cars, trains, whatever. So I was a sensitive but creative child.
a tender soul. Um, well, okay, thank you for sharing that. I know we have some pictures of your mother and also you. If we could see them. Here she
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So that's her when she was, like I think 16. Um,
Mm.
and I think that's what she looked like when Fats Waller saw her. And you can see some of the script down there below it.
Oh yeah. You might have wound up with the name Chick Waller.
And this text comes from, I actually wrote my memoirs.
Mm.
And so this text comes from that. I haven't published it, but it's sitting up on the shelf.
Oh, well, we can't wait to read it when you do publish it.
And that's mom as she got, she was older. Um, I think that picture was taken when she came out here to Seattle to visit, and I was going through non-Hodgkin's lymphoma at the time, and I got her into my little studio to sing with me and recorded several songs with her. So I think that's where that picture came from. That's
Mm.
mom. And this picture was an was an interesting picture. This I used to have my own school of performing arts in Santa Barbara, California, and every year we would put on fundraisers to support the school. And I came up with this idea. I knew so many musicians and had so many good friends there who were talented and who were in different musical genres. And I came up with this idea to put on a show called the Golden Voice Awards. So I would select singers from different genres. So there was jazz singing, there was a barbershop quartet, and there was blues, and there was country, and there was we had an 85-year-old Japanese woman sing traditional Japanese music, and I had my mother come out to visit. So this song was she and I on stage singing at the Golden Voice Awards. That was, I don't know, back in 1970-ish, 65-ish, somewhere around there. This was, I think this picture came from, also an interesting story behind this because when my mom and dad were celebrating their 50th anniversary, I had done a show in Malibu, California, and there was a woman in the audience it was a house concert actually, who came up to me and afterwards and asked if I could do that same thing at the United Nations. I said, "Okay." She said, just get people involved like you do. I said, at the United Nations? She said, yes. In Geneva? She said, yes. I said, sure, why not? So she booked me to perform at the United Nations in Geneva. And when she found out it was going to be my parents' anniversary, she booked the ticket for them to come over and be a part of that experience, in which they did. And and when I got up on stage, I sang my songs, but I said, "Oh, this is an opportunity to get Mama up on stage with me." She wasn't expecting that, but I got her up on stage. I got her up on stage with me, and the audience, the people, they just totally lost it because she was so good. Um,
Wow. So this is from the United Nations, you and
this,
your mom on stage.
I think it was, and it was really funny because after Mom sang, they didn't want to hear me anymore. They just want to hear Mom.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing. This is one of the songs she used to love to sing, and we would sing that one together a lot. Jacob's ladder
Mm,
and Precious Lord, we did. And this was us at my house here. We're just kicking back and hanging out.
love it.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I mean, those are just so fantastic. And it's so special that you really got to share a musical life with your mother. I mean, that's really beautiful.
It is. It is. And I mean, she just loved to sing. What was so, you can have a lot of people that have great voices. I mean, people all over the world have great voices. But some people have, it's not, I don't know if you want to call it personality or energy, or it's just sort of a special something that allows them to connect with people. You and the audience wants to connect with them because they're just emanating this, and my younger brother has it as well. He is in Boston, and it's just, and I get that from her. For me, I don't have a need to be up on stage to have people look at me and say, "Oh, Chick," or whatever. But I love it. I love being with people. I love sharing with people. Um, so I've had people say to me, are you doing anything? Are you got anything coming up? What's the next gig you got, and so forth. I said, well, when it comes up, it comes up. I don't
Yeah.
need to be there, but I just love being there when I'm there, and I get that from Mama.
Yeah. Well, and we also love being with you. I could say as audience members. Um, and you definitely also have that thing that makes people want to listen to you, and hearing your stories has been really wonderful today.
I think, thank you. I just think it has a lot to do with just loving people
Mm,
and and being a catalyst for people feeling good. You know.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Ah, yeah. Joe is giving herself a hug. I want to do that too. Yeah, and that's definitely, it feels good to feel good. Um,
Yeah.
well, I know that you have one more song to share. So uh, could you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Well, yeah. That song is called "Ode to Mafeen," and Mafeen uh, is the name of my grandmother, who was my grandmother's daughter. And I actually wrote this for my mother because I just wanted her to know that her past was important and was a part of our present. And it basically tells the story of my grandmother reflecting on what happened to her mother, which was my great grandmother, when she had been abused by that young boy. It's called Ode to Mafeen. Mafeen, her name was Queen Esther, and I think one of my cousins couldn't say Mama Queen. It came out Mafeen, and we wound up calling her Mafeen. picking and singing the blues was how my mama used to wash all her troubles away. But mama ain't to blame, 'cause I ain't got no name, no papa to call me girl. That man who one noon, when searching for a coon, he tore off my mama's dress. In darkness I was born, from mama I was torn. 63 years ago. Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Lord, let me sing my song. There's an aching in my bones. I'm old and I'm almost gone, but my soul flies high. Oh yes it does. Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Lord, have mercy. Oh Lord, let me sing my song. Let me sing my song.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. There must be a God somewhere.
Oh, thank you for that. That was just like perfect touch of grounding that I was needing, and I'm sure many of us were needing. It's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, there's so many messages in the chat just saying, speaking to the strength of the women in your life and the stories that they hold, and a lot of gratitude to them and also to you for sharing them with us. So
Thanks, Jaden, and thanks for allowing me the opportunity to be here to share with all of you. All of you, and it's so nice to see all the beautiful faces out there too who like to be with you and to share. And so I thank you for allowing me to be here.
oh yes, it's an honor. Um, it's really wonderful. I did want to circle back just from a little while ago. You had mentioned that you recorded some songs with your mother, and I was just wondering, like, what songs did you record, or did anything ever happen with that? Because that's just so special.
We didn't really. The songs that I recorded with her were her singing. It was just me
Oh,
providing
okay.
for it. So I just wanted, because she didn't have the opportunity to record, and right when we did that, this was a while ago, so everything was put on cassette tapes, little tiny tapes, right? And um, I have that, and my wife keeps telling me, you got to get that put on digital format somewhere because it's gonna go bye bye.
Mm,
So that's something I have to do. But I have it here. I have it somewhere.
okay.
It's not us recorded singing together. We did do one thing together, which is on my website, a little bit of version of um, Precious Lord, I think it what it was.
Mm,
It's kind of like
I think you may have played it for us the last time you were here a bit, but yeah, yeah, show us again if you want.
take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. Right. I'm tired. So we recorded that a little bit, but
Mm,
uh, didn't get a chance to do much of that with her.
gotcha. Well, oh, Joe says next time maybe Chick can bring us some of the recordings he is going to digitize. We would totally love to hear your mother's voice singing. Having heard so much about her now, if that's ever possible.
Next time I'll make sure I have it for you.
Awesome. Okay, we can't wait. Thank you again so much for bringing her story and your grandmother's story and your great grandmother's story into this space with us, and for sharing all your music.
Can I ask one quick question?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a quick question to Busy. Busy, did I had I sung "Ode to Mafeen" to you before? Had you heard that song? You'd never heard it.
I never heard it. I just threw in the chat, everybody be yourself, that everybody needs to go out and listen to. But no, I loved hearing that song, and I can't believe that I had not heard many of these stories about your mom, your grandmother, and your great grandmother. So
Interesting.
thank you so much for sharing those. They're perfect for this Mother's Day musical week, or whatever Joe calls it.
It's great.
Yeah, so great to see you, Chick. So
Well,
any plans to come east anytime soon?
not at the moment.
We're gonna change that. We're gonna
Yeah.
yeah, find lots of ways to bring you here. Yeah, there's so many places I would love to have you share your music with audiences. And
Sounds
there people might not also know about your Keb Mo connection. You gave him his stage name that I think is a good part of his success. So you've been very generous in your sharing of music and your incredible theater performances. We haven't heard anything about that.
with Kevin when I call him Kevin, so Kevin Mo. But if he were to do a show here, whenever I'm in the audience, he will always say, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Chick Streetman.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that.
He's so talented.
Well, that is fantastic. And next time we'll definitely have to hear more about all of your theater experience as well, because I know
Yeah,
that.
Spunk is one of them that I just thought it was phenomenal. And well, what were some of the other ones? Ain't Nothing But the Blues,
Nothing but the blues, and
great one.
also Low Down Dirty Blues. And that was just last year. I was in Kansas City doing the Hank Williams Lost Highway.
Wow, I'm sorry I missed that.
Very interesting show. Because I was playing a character named T-Tot Rufus Payne, who actually taught Hank Williams how to sing and play guitar. Hank Williams would go into the black community in Alabama to learn and to sing, to play from him. So I was playing this character named T-Tot.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Is
Wow.
that available on video anywhere that we could see, or?
They don't put that stuff on. I mean, they record it, they video it, but it's in the archives, and I guess they keep that stuff pretty private when you're doing theater shows. I mean, I would love to see Spunk way back,
Yeah, oh my gosh. Now, have you done the Library of Congress Archive Challenge?
No,
Oh, Joe, can you make a note of that? We need to let Jen and Steve know.
Chick is already on the list for June. Yay.
Excellent.
Well, we can't wait to hear more about everything else going on in your world, and for when you do the archive challenge. There's so much more that I think you have to share with us. Is there anything? Oh, mhm.
what is the archive challenge? I mean, what is it? I'm not quite sure.
Really quick. It is from the American Folklife Center at the Library of Congress, and you pick a song from their archive recordings, and then you kind of put your own spin on it. So you would be perfect for it.
Got it.
Yeah, we'll get you more information about it.
Mhm.
Is there anything else that you want us to know about, things you have coming up or things to look out for?
Not much. I'm going to be singing, doing teaching in a couple of guitar camps coming up next month. Um, Writing. I've got a. I've been writing a lot. I have a novella that I'm trying to publish, and it's finished.
Wow.
It's basically it's called Killer Genes. GE. It's about a young man who's a geneticist, and he's tired of all the mass killings that are going on around the world. So he wants to come up with a uh, genetic formula that people don't know how to kill anymore. It's just a fantasy kind of thing.
Fascinating. Oh, well, we can't wait to read that and your memoir.
Yeah, and my memoir. And also, I have a stage production of uh, called Hattie's Axe that I'm trying to get, which is the story of my great grandmother, and that's her whole story.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's fantastic. That it's so wonderful how you honor the women in your family. It's very beautiful.
Without him,
Yeah. So I will put your website in the chat for people to get more information about all of those things. Um,
If you do that, then if people go to the website and you can see a little clip of my mom and I singing together, "Precious Lord."
oh, beautiful. Okay. Definitely check that out, everybody.
Okay.
Um, all right. And I think that's all I had to say. There's no more announcements. Thank you again, Chick, for being here. Big round of applause.
Thank you.
This is just so beautiful and touching, and feeling like a good way to celebrate Mother's Day, which is coming up. So thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to all of you.
Happy early Mother's Day. Yes. And thank you to Joe for being here and supporting us on tech and everything. Busy, thanks for joining today. Always lovely to see you. Thank you, Kevin in DC, for being here. Mabel, great to see you, and the bear. Thanks for joining, Jim in New York City. Susan G, good to see ya. Goodbye, Arlene. Wonderful to see you today. Carolyn, goodbye. Kathleen, good to see you today. Goodbye, Jamie in Virginia. Beautiful floral background you have. Ruth, great seeing you today. Mr. James Harkless, thanks for joining. Annette, good to see you. Goodbye, Luda, much love to you. Dawn, glad you could join today. Lovely to see you. Goodbye, Anne in Nashville. And Hoda, great to see you. Goodbye, Linda in Concord. And bye, Bonnie. Bye, Laris. Glad you could join today. Antonina, thank you for joining. Sandy Moore, good to see you. And Cricket, it's great to see you with your camera on again. Thanks for being here. Yes. Deli, thank you for joining. Aloysius, thanks for joining today. Gary, goodbye and good to see you. Linda on Orcas Island, thank you for joining. And Jamie and Victoria, good to see you today. Anne in Silver Spring, thanks for being here. Hi Storm, well, bye Storm is what I really meant. Good seeing you. Bob and a bear outside, thanks for joining. And the other Bob Gaser, thanks for joining. Goodbye, Lynn. And Willard, one curly top, good to see you. Bye to the other curly tops out in the world. Bye, Nancy N. And Caroline, good to see you. Jane, thanks for joining. Kathy, thank you for joining today. Goodbye, Hindi, good to see you. Fred, good seeing you. And Diane, glad you could make it today. Good to see you. Goodbye. Kathy in upstate New York, thank you for joining today. And Lynn Leavin, thanks for being here. And can you all give one big wave to the live